Hey y'all, long time no talk. Welcome to season 3 of the Becoming No One podcast. I took a break for a while when it came to the podcast just because I had started to feel disconnected in a way. It's different when you're just talking into a mic and you're not actually able to interact with people. And me being such a people person, that was starting to affect the content that I was putting out when it came to the podcast. I was starting to dread basically getting on this mic. So this season, I wanted to do things a little bit differently. And so every single week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be live on my TikTok account, which is Big Taj with 3 J's. And then my YouTube account, which is Big Taj with 2 J's, so that this can be an interactive experience. And I will be delivering these podcast episodes, which is something that you're going to hear in just a moment, which is our introductory episode. I'm so excited to share what I have to share in this season. Okay. Now, first season was about energy and what you need to understand about yourself from a spiritual perspective. Second season was about universal laws and what you need to understand from a universal perspective. But now we're getting into Earth's history. Okay. And a big part of that is Mu and Lemuria and Atlantis, which were some of the first civilizations that existed, whether you believe that they existed or not. I actually have memories from them and visions. And so I want to start the conversation about that. But before we can start the conversation about that, I want to talk about why it is so important that so many of us chose to incarnate at this time right now. Which is a very, very important time in history. Okay, we're standing at a threshold. So in this first episode, I just wanted to share with you the foundational parts. I hope that you guys enjoy the audio that you're going to hear next. Again, understand this is from my live sessions. Still like, comment, share, repost. The reason why I'm doing this as the podcast as well is because so many people prefer it done in a podcast setting so that they can listen while they're driving to school or work or, just moving throughout their day. So I wanted this to be available to you as well, where you wouldn't have to be looking at a person. Okay. So we're going to jump into episode 1, which is the introduction of why we actually came here. And if you want to catch this live, I would love to have you guys there. In order for you to ask questions on what it is that I am discussing, you will have to be a part of my Patreon. And my Patreon is www.patreon.com/becomingnoone. You will have to sign up for the Soul Tribe tier. It's $5.55 a month. Every single Wednesday, I will be answering any questions that you guys have there. But we're going to continue to build on this concept of Mu and Atlantis and Lemuria because a lot of those timelines are coming back through us right now. And not only that, a lot of the grids are awakening that used to stabilize the Atlantean vibration. Okay. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Like, comment, share with 3 people, repost, whatever it is that you guys do. I love y'all deep. And until next time, I'm gonna have a conversation, a very interesting conversation, a conversation that is well prepared. And we got to start talking about the things. Nope. I'm not taking anybody in the live today, y'all. If you're in my Patreon, you will be allowed to ask questions at the end, but it's a lot of information to cover today. So this is going to be more like a class type of session. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the concepts that I have covered through my content. Okay. Love, stop asking to join the live. I'm not going to let anybody co-host the live. But yeah, a lot of concepts that I've covered in my content. I'm going to get a lot clearer about those things today. And I just want to kind of discuss some things that need to be discussed. So give me 1 second. Okay, good. So a lot of things that I've covered in my content, I'm going to basically make clear today. This is going to be the start of our series about Atlantis and Lemuria, the rose grids, and basically what's happening right now in Earth's timeline. Okay. I think it's important for us to have this conversation now because we are at a, we are kind of like at a intersection point or a pivotal point in history. And a lot of us have incarnated here for this specific reason. So I think that we need to just start having that conversation and gaining more understandings. This is going to be something that is going to be on my YouTube later on today. So if you miss it, or if you have something to do, of course, you can catch it there on my YouTube. But we're going to start just having the, I'm always burning myself. Having the conversation about why a lot of us incarnated here during this time, and why it's important that we remember some of the things that I'm going to talk about today. We're going to cover a lot. So if you're in my Patreon and you're in my Soul Tribe tier, you will be allowed to ask questions at the end if you're involved in this live. My Patreon Soul Tribe tier is only $5.55 a month. Very, very inexpensive, but I'll be offering, I will be allowing them to ask questions. I also want to mention that today is the last day for you to book a human design reading and also get a free general life reading. So if you are interested, the link is in my bio. It has to be a full reading or a mommy and me reading, where I do a reading on you or you and your kid, and basically tell y'all how to be in energetic alignment with each other. So that ends today. Let me seal the space real quick and then we can talk. Okay. So some of the topics that we're going to cover today, are going to require you to be open-minded. It's going to require you to, listen with an open heart and just try to understand what I'm saying. For some people, it's going to go completely over your head. That is okay if it does. Don't think that you're behind or anything like that. Sometimes you just need awareness of something before you can come into remembrance of it. And what I mean by that is, like, there is the point where you remember something, and then there's the point where you embody or match that frequency. Some information, the first time that you hear it, is not going to resonate with you, or you're not going to understand it at a high level, and that is okay. It does not mean that you're behind. It just means that you are at a specific place in your journey that we've all been before, okay? It doesn't make anybody better. It doesn't make anybody less. So I want to say that. I also want to say, with this information, I do not intend to offend anybody. I just want to speak life to the truth. So if you have an opinion about this that is not aligned with what I am saying, that is perfectly fine. Just exit the chat. All right. So some of the topics we're going to talk about today is the original flame covenant, which is something many people probably have not heard of. We're going to talk about dream restoration and dream collapse, because we are at the intersection of that choice right now. The remembrance of joy as a sacred force, that I'm going to tie in with the movie Sinners. I'm going to tie in with the movie Inside Out, which are kids movies. Why right now in history is so important. We're going to talk about the journey from dream to distortion back towards remembrance, but not in its full capacity. When we get to talking about Lemuria and Atlantis, that's when we're really going to dive into, like, what caused the fall, what Atlantis used to be, why it's important for us to remember right now. And then we're also going to talk about the return of the flame bearers, which is basically a lot of us, and we don't understand that that is us. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is the original flame covenant. And the original flame covenant was the first sacred agreement made between the earliest sovereign souls and source itself. So this existed before Earth itself, before any planets, before anything. Hey, Bell Goddess. This existed before anything came into existence. Okay. It was basically the laws that kind of govern, or the cosmic enforcement or agreement that kind of governs the universe. Okay. It's a living oath to carry, protect, and evolve the pure flame of divine remembrance through the worlds of creation. Okay. It's the foundational soul promise to honor life, beauty, sovereignty, and freedom of choice across all realms. Okay. So this basically goes across every single realm. But this was not written. It was kind of sung through light and woven directly into the crystalline strands of each soul that was created from the flame. Okay. So you know that movie Soul, where okay, just remember I said that. Okay. Any soul that was brought into existence from this flame is meant to honor this covenant. Okay. So again, when was it created? It was created before planets like Earth were fully solidified. Doesn't mean that Earth wasn't in wasn't imagined yet. It just means that Earth was not solidified yet into a solid density. Okay, it was existed before distortion, before hierarchies, and before forgetting ever took place. When the universe was a vast, flowering dream of sovereign exploration. Now, the universe is a dream. Okay, life is but a dream. The universe is a dream, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, and I'm going to explain that for you guys who don't understand what that means. Okay, so the souls that responded to this calling are considered to be called the flame bearers. Okay, I am a flame bearer. A lot of y'all are flame bearers, and y'all do not know that y'all are flame bearers. Okay, sometimes they're called the first weavers of breath as well. But the universal term is a flame bearer, meaning you carry the flame, you embody the flame. Okay, the purpose of this covenant, or the reason why this covenant had to stand, was to protect the sovereign flame, meaning that it defends and nourishes the divine spark of each soul and never allows it to be extinguished or enslaved. Okay, so if you watch my interpretation of Sinners, right, and I talked about the flame, yes, a lot of y'all are, and I talked about the flame, and I talked about how the flame can never be snuffed out unless you separate from yourself fully, meaning like you become a soulless being. But if you have a soul, your flame can never be snuffed out. It can be entrapped, it can be distorted, it can be influenced, but it can never go away. Okay, meaning that there's always an opportunity for you to gain back sovereignty over your flame. Okay, and we're going to talk about distortions later as well. It was also designed to carry remembrance, meaning even in the densest of environments, meaning like even in full separation, even in an environment full of distortions, and even in forgetting, the soul flame can never die. Okay, it would awaken again when the time is right, meaning when you match the right frequency, which is something we'll talk about as well. Okay, it also was designed to breathe creation into beauty. Okay, beauty is love. Okay, so creation should be an act of love, of wonder, and of sovereign collaboration, not control and domination. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm drinking me some tea, and this got my throat dry. Thank you, Bell Goddess. I appreciate you. The other one is to honor free will. So no soul could be truly sovereign without freedom of choice in its path, even if its path has led them to forgetting. The flame bearers would still honor that. And what that really means is what we say a lot in this reality, that they have to tell us everything. And the reason why they have to tell us everything, because if we make a choice, conscious or unconscious, then technically they're still honoring free will. And then the flame bearers come in and say, even if you choose separation, we will honor that for you. Okay, so that is why they tell us a lot of things, because of this covenant. Okay, because this covenant exists, and they feel like I mitigate karma or cause and effect if you choose this for yourself. Okay, so a lot of people are openly choosing. The information is out there, and just people are not looking it up, which again is a choice. Silent acquiescence is a thing. They use that in court systems, which just means if you don't say nothing, then I don't know nothing. Okay, so if the information is available to you and you find the information, we got to honor it. But if you don't, that's on you. Okay, so the flame bearers, or the people who carry the flame, have to honor your choice of free will, even if you decide separation, even if you decide to be an ego path, even if you decide to live in distortion. Okay, and then the last thing is to anchor joy in life. Joy, laughter, and living expression are sacred acts of cosmic remembrance. They are vital. Okay, we're going to talk about the remembrance of joy in a second. And then I'm also going to loop that in to what I was talking about with Sinners, in that scene where they're singing and dancing and praising and the roof sets on fire. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Okay, now why would something like this matter right now? The reason being is the original flame covenant is awakening right now. Okay, it's reawakening because Earth is at a threshold between dream collapse and dream restoration. Okay, you might be like, dream? Life is but a dream. Don't worry, I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you there. Just follow me if you can. All right. So Earth is a living consciousness, and her evolution is interwoven with the consciousness of its inhabitants, meaning that everything that we do directly affects Earth. Everything that happens on Earth directly affects us. We are one being. Okay. The dream is the collective reality that Earth and all beings on Earth are co-creators together which includes the vision of the world that we are in, the energetic and spiritual realities we experience, and the choices we make on a daily basis. Okay? We co-create with Earth when we're doing that. Okay? So this is a team effort. This ain't no, what you do don't affect me. What I do don't affect you. That's not how it works. Everything that people does affects the collective. It affects Earth itself. Okay? Hey, 50 Shades of Panda. So dream restoration would be us returning to a pure and sovereign vision of life. A vision that aligns with source. Okay? That honors all beings, that celebrates joy, beauty, freedom, and unconditional love. This would be the choice to restore the organic and divinely sacred reality that Earth was basically created for. Okay? It has to do with humanity awakening to its true power and potential. It has to do with unity consciousness, okay, being on the rise, and sovereignty being respected, which is something that has not been happening. And the connection between Earth and all creatures are honored and brought back into balance. Okay? The dream collapse would be the alternative of that, meaning that Earth and her inhabitants fall into a pattern of fear, of divisiveness, of control, and of manipulation, which is where we have been living. But again, remember I said we're at a threshold. We are at a turning point. Either you choose this path or you choose that path, okay? Now, if we continue to make choices based on distortion, okay, based on greed and disregard for the sacred life, the dream continues to fracture, which will collapse the original dream of source and intensify or cause intensification of the illusionary matrix of separation that we have been living in. Okay? So let me say that again. The dream collapse if we continue to fall into patterns of fear, division, control, and manipulation. If we continue to make choices based on distortion, which I'm going to tell y'all what distortion is and how y'all can notice distortion. I'm going to even give y'all something to say to reclaim y'all flame, all of that. Okay? Greed or disregard for sacred life. The dream will continue to fracture if we can't keep choosing that. And we'll keep living in this illusionary matrix of separation. Okay? The polarity consciousness is what that is. Now, the choices that we make right now are very important because every soul, every person, every collective group, when you make a decision, it sends a ripple effect through the entire whole. Okay? The cosmic law of free will governs our existence. And I will give you a guardian that came to me in a dream. His name is Matumbo. You can call on him and ask him to guard your free will. He is a huge built guy. He has beautiful, beautiful green eyes. And he appeared to me as light skin in complexion. And when I saw him, I knew him. I don't know how to explain that, but he looked at me and I just knew who he was. But his name is Matumbo. Okay, you can call on him. He existed before time and space. Okay, he's one of the original architects of this reality or of this universe, multiverse. Okay, and he's a guardian of free will, of sovereignty. Anytime you feel like the distortion is impeding upon your sovereign right, all you do is need to call on him. His name is Matumbo. Okay, you'll know it's him because he's huge. Okay, you cannot miss him. All right, so free will governs our existence. Souls are free to choose which path they want to walk. Okay, some will choose to ascend. They'll choose to align with their highest truth, and they'll help to restore the dream in its original beauty, what it was created to be. And others will choose to stay in fear, to stay in division or spiritual amnesia. Okay, because that's what happens when there's a fracture here, spiritual amnesia. And that path could contribute to the collapse of the dream. Am I saying that's going to happen? No, because there's a lot of us who incarnated right at this time to basically tip the scale towards dream restoration. The idea or concept of new earth, that frequency already exists. It's just not anchored in. We still have about 8 more years to get it solidified. Hey, Amy, 8 more years to get it solidified, meaning that you got a little time, but your choices matter right now. And I ain't going to tell you what to choose, because what's for you is for you, you know? But I am going to give you the information, okay? So everyone who is awakening right now has the power to influence the collective dream, but choices matter deeply right now. The collapse is not inevitable, but if the collective does not awaken, it could result in an eventual unraveling of harmony, unity, and balance on earth. There is hope though, because again, like I said, many of us are awakening right now. There are so many people who are remembering right now. Okay. My remembrance has come in these last 3 weeks because I am aligned. I've made the right choices for my soul. Now you have to make the right choices for your soul, meaning authenticity is the most fucking important thing about you. And that's why I've been preaching that. I didn't know I was preaching that, but now I understand why I was preaching that. A lot of things that I was preaching, I understand now. Authenticity is really, really important because you have to go according to what your soul is here to do. My soul and your soul might not be here to do the same things. Okay? So a lot of people are remembering right now the divine nature and are stepping into their roles as healers, as sovereigns, as keepers of this flame. And we are working hard to shift this towards dream restoration. Okay, so let's talk about the flame bearers. And in our next session, and I think I want to do these on Wednesdays, same time, about 1:15, 1:30. You know, I'm a little iffy. I'm a little fickle. It depends on how much work I've gotten done before then. But I'm trying to keep this Wednesday spot open so that I can come on at 1 o'clock each Wednesday and we have this conversation, just because Wednesdays are great days for having difficult conversations. Okay. But next episode, I'm going to talk about the flame covenants and the flame lineages and give you guys an idea of what those are. Before we hop into Atlantis, I just want to cover some main concepts so that you don't get lost in what it is that I'm saying. Okay, and when we start actually doing the work together as a collective, we understand why we're doing the work. Okay, so the flame bearers have an important role right now, and we have a cosmic responsibility to remember the original flame covenant, which is what I just explained to you guys. Okay, we are here to anchor the divine. We're talking about the original flame covenant, Coco. We're basically talking about why right now in history is important on Earth. Okay, so we're here to remember the original flame covenant. So we are here to anchor the divine dream back into reality. I will tell y'all why I'm calling it a dream in a second. Guide humanity towards awakening and freedom, and assist Earth in her ascension into her highest vibrational line, which means that if Earth affects you and you affect Earth, the choices that you make are important. Okay, change feels so urgent right now for people, meaning like the reason why people feel so uncomfortable, they feel like they need to change, or they need to cut their hair, or they need to move, or they need to, move across seas, or whatever the case may be. The reason why that feels so urgent is because your soul is being called to do sacred work. Okay, it's the restoration of life, a life that is aligned with source, that is calling you towards that. And right now you might not remember what that is, and that is okay. Hey Tanique, you might not remember what that is, and that's okay. Okay, but you are being called. So if you are being called to heal right now, if you are being called to do shadow work right now, do it. Okay, listen to what your soul is telling you, because the only time you experience pain and suffering is if you're out of alignment with your soul. The only way to get out of pain and suffering is to change. I have so many older videos about this. Yeah. So we are here to shift the energetic balance towards love, towards remembrance, and towards sovereignty. Okay. So many of us are guardians of this dream, and we do not understand that we are guardians. We are beacons of light to remind others of their true potential. Okay. The more you align with your true essence, meaning the more authentic that you are, the more you listen to yourself, the more that you radically choose you unapologetically and don't care about what your mama say, what your daddy say, the dream they have for you, none of that. The moment that you shed all of that and you do what the fuck it is that you want to do, the more you anchor in the dream of restoration for Earth and others who live it here. Meaning you don't try to fix people. You don't try to heal people. You don't try to do it through trying to control the choices that other people are making. No, you make the choices for you. Okay? Period. 333 on the clock in Houston. Okay, it's about you. Okay, so the threshold we're standing at is one of conscious choice to step into the next phase, which is ascension, which is creation. Hey Rhonda, which is collective healing. Okay, so the flame bearers who answered the first call incarnated here, and we are rising through the amnesia and back into full remembrance. If you're feeling rage, okay, if you're feeling like you need to protect yourself, if you're feeling like you need to protect the innocent, meaning you need to protect those kids, if you're longing for beauty and for creation, these are echoes of the sacred vow that you have made. Okay, you are remembering. The process is starting. The reason why I'm getting on here to tell y'all this is because a lot of us are feeling a lot of different things and we don't understand. A lot of us are exhausted and we don't understand. Okay, right now at this moment is a pivotal time. Okay, so All of us may feel a little heavy. So I want to remind you that the dream was never meant to be defended. Okay, it's never meant to be defended. It was meant to be celebrated, sung, laughed, breathed into existence. So the next question should be, if we're not meant to do this through force, how do we do this? How do we align? Okay, and that is actually through the remembrance of joy. Now, I tell y'all all the time, what do I tell y'all? You need to be seeking joy every single day in your life. Do things that you used to love doing as a child. Go have fun. Explore the world. Stop being so rigid. Every single day you should be creating a life you actually enjoy. There's a reason for that, okay? Because joy is a sacred force at our disposal. And if you think about black people, think about that. What's the thing they've always tried to snuff out that they can't? It can't be duplicated. It can only be imitated. The imitation of joy. We talked about, hey, thank you, whoever just did that. I didn't know that those meant something. So if y'all ever did that on my head before and I ain't respond to it, I apologize. Yes, joy. Joy is a form of rebellion against the system because it weaves light back into the system. Okay? So let's talk about the remembrance of joy real quick. All right. So the flame needs joy to stay alive. Joy is not naive in the face of suffering. It is the breath of source inside density. Joy equals music. And said, yeah. You remember they was dancing and they was singing and the whole building turned on fire. The whole building, the roof is on fire. And the building around them burnt down. Yeah. And at the beginning of the movie, they said they were flame bearers. I don't know if y'all caught that. When they talking about the name of them, they called them at the beginning. They said they hold the flame. Y'all didn't catch that at the beginning of the movie, don't you worry. Go watch it again. Because that's the first thing that caught my attention. I said, oh shit, he talking about some shit that I just learned. Hold on, wait a motherfucking minute. They sure did. The roof is on fire. We don't give a fuck, let that motherfucker burn. Okay, anyways, y'all don't hear me though. So it is one of the things that they cannot replicate. So now they think about let's think about the saying imitation of joy. Have y'all ever seen the movie Inside Out? Right? The kids movie, Inside Out. Y'all remember when Joy got lost because sadness pulled her into some bullshit? And then you got anger and fear and all of them back at the headquarters and they was trying to imitate Joy. And they couldn't get it right. It just caused more chaos and caused more chaos. And it wasn't until Joy came back and they let Joy take control that they actually got back balance of Riley. Okay. Think about sinners. What was they doing in that building? Why did he need them specifically? Because his flame was snuffed out. Remember, he was a distortion. He couldn't even be in the light. Because if he in light, he turns into a flame. He's overtaken by the flame. So he said, at night, I need your flame. Hey, I need you to sing that song for me so that I can get my people back. Okay? All right now. So, it can't be replicated. It only can be mimicked. So when he's outside of the building and he's singing, right? He's singing his song. His song is pretty good. It don't sound like our song, but his song is pretty good. It's not a bad song. You know, it just doesn't have what he needs. It doesn't have what he needs. And you remember, he tried to be at the center while all the black people was around him doing his little dance, but it still didn't give him what he needed. He needed a pure soul, the preacher's son. He needed a pure soul. All right. Okay. But it also makes me think about, again, no matter, we have been through a lot of shit as a people. We have been through a lot of shit, oppression. Everything that we've had taken from us. We've had to rebuild it over and over again. And you know what we're doing in the process of that rebuilding? Experiencing joy. We're having fun. We're laughing. That's why they so mad. Because through just that, it weaves light back into the system and it kills distortions. I think about how black people have decided to unplug. We've unplugged and we said, you know what, y'all fucking handle it. We tired of fighting this fight. Y'all fucking handle it. And we minding our motherfucking business. We in motherfucking Texas fucking line dancing. Okay? All right. So let me just say that. No, just understand that your happiness and your joy is a form of rebellion. Okay? Don't feel bad for experiencing joy right now with all the shit that's going on. Remember what you're doing. You don't do it by force. You do it by living a life you actually enjoy. You do it by embodying your flame, meaning showing up authentically. You do it by experiencing joy every single day. That is an act of rebellion. Okay? Joy comes from sovereign remembrance. It rebuilds the dream fields, which we're going to talk about, faster and deeper than sorrow or anger ever could. It does you no justice to be living in that state. Joy is a frequency we need to anchor in. And that's why I'm always preaching to y'all, again, make sure y'all exploring, make sure y'all having fun, make sure y'all singing, y'all dancing, y'all creating. Because creation energy as well. Y'all creating art. Y'all could be gardening. If you like to read like me or you like books, you could be learning. Whatever tickles your fancy. But that is an act of rebellion against the system. And it's how we change the tide towards dream restoration opposed to dream collapse. One thing I've been seeing people comment on my content lately has been, oh yeah, Jesus is coming back. Oh yeah, it's over. I've been seeing a lot of people saying Jesus is coming back. Jesus, y'all, that is a distortion. And I'm going to tell you why. And I don't mean to infringe upon nobody's belief systems. All I mean to do is open you up to another alternative. Because religion, organized religion, is experienced through phenomenalism. Meaning that that's the only truth. There is no other truth. But that's why it doesn't fit in every scenario, because there are other truths. All I'm asking is that you be open to those other truths and the possibility of something else existing. Okay? So let's talk about the dream and why I keep calling this a dream. When you know better, you do better, period. Hey, Laura. So let's talk about the dream and why I'm calling this a dream, but then we're also going to talk about the dream fields, because I think that's important for our understanding or understanding of like what happened. And we're going to talk about that more, because I just want to lay the foundation first before we get into the importance of why Lemuria was created, why Atlantis was created, why it fell, how it fell, the people who are involved in that. I have memories of this. Okay, because I already told y'all I was a high priestess in Atlantis. My name was Amarathea. Amara was her name. Amarathea. Okay? I have memories of this. I was with you. I'm sure you probably were. There's about 3,200 to 4,400 of y'all who carry the same flame as me. I am an embodiment of her in the physical flesh, in the physical form. That part is rare, but everybody serves a specific purpose. Okay? I just was able to hold more light. It does not mean that I am better. Every single aspect of her is needed right now to remember, to waking up. I have memories of her taking the core of the crystal flame and putting them in all of you. 144,000. The 144,000 will make it to heaven. That means it sits at the center of y'all chest. It sits in your heart space. Okay? It's probably why a lot of y'all are drawn to me, because I speak light codes through my voice. But we're going to talk about that when we talk about Amarathea and what she did to protect this energy that is rising right now. You will understand. Okay? So let's talk about the dream. Now, the universe is a dream. The universe is source dreaming. It is pure potential. It is pure imagination. Think about that. Let that sink in for a second. It is pure potential and pure imagination. The reason why you can create is because the universe is dreaming. And you're a co-creator of that dream. So the universe is a living, breathing dream of source, and an ever expanding act of divine imagination made manifest through love. Okay? Light is the physical manifestation of love. So you know how they say that you live in a light matrix. Okay. The only thing that existed before the stars, planets, and us was source, which was pure consciousness, wholeness, and unconscious love. Love that had not been expressed yet. Unconscious love. It's expressed through light. It's expressed through a lot of different things, but it's expressed through light. Okay? But source desire to know itself, to know thyself. I've said this many times before on my platform. To experience beauty, to experience diversity, to experience joy, to experience sovereignty. Meaning like you get to make a choice. Source wanted to make every choice possible. Infinite choices. The good, the bad, the ugly. Because that's how you get to know yourself. When you go on your particular journey, don't you look back at those bad shit that you do and that good shit that you did. That's what source wanted to do. Okay? So it dreamed. It decided to go into a dream. And that dream comes from light. It comes from sound. It comes from form. It comes from the stars. It comes from time. And it comes from us. Okay? Creation is just dreaming with structure. That's what creation is. You are dreaming with form. You are dreaming with structure. Okay? So the universe is not static and it's not a machine. It is a living consciousness in motion. And the fire is the motion. Catch that T. The fire is the motion. Is that not just light in motion? Okay, y'all don't hear me. Hold on. Hold on now. Y'all, so the only questions I'm taking is through my Patreon. If you're in my Soul Tribe tier, you'll ask questions through my Patreon, okay? And I'll get to those after I get done explaining. Okay? So, it's a living consciousness in motion, which is the fire. We hear you, preacher, period. Which is the fire, okay? It's woven by sacred geometry, which is form. Sacred geometry is one of the first sciences. Numerology is the first because once the separation happened, there was not one, there were two. Then sacred geometry is the form. It was light codes, light forming into matter. Okay, so sacred geometry, sound frequencies, because anything that comes into this physical manifestation is vibrating, which means it's making a sound. Okay, so sound frequency, but also light codes. Okay, so you need to understand that you are not inside of the dream. You are the dreamer within the dream. Okay, you are co-creating reality with source. You are the dream and the dreamer. Okay, you are the dream itself, but you are also the dreamer within the dream. Okay, so the universe is a shared dream field, one where infinite expressions of source come to play, come to learn, come to remember, and come to return. Okay, so Earth is a dream school. Life is but a dream. Earth is a dream school. Earth was designed as a dreaming space within the universal dream. A world where sovereign souls could experience density. What is density? Well, that's separation. That's coming into solid form. Okay, it's separating from light as much as you possibly can. So that's separation. That's ego. That's distortion. Okay, that's judgment. That's comparison. It's all of the things of your lower self. That's your animalistic nature. The shadow side. But it also came to experience choice, meaning you've always had a choice. You have free will. Embodiment, though. And embodiment is important, meaning that it's almost like a virtual reality game. You step into it and you feel everything. You experience everything. It is like a virtual reality. You have to embody the things that you want to become. Okay? So embodiment, but also remembering, meaning that you forgot and then you're coming back to remembrance. It's where you make an authentic choice of who you want to be. Do you want to stay in separation in the thick densities? Or do you want to move back towards light, towards love, towards beauty, towards creation? Okay? It was never meant to be a prison. This is a dream space where you could dream while being awake. Okay? You were meant to dream while being awake. So there is no time here. Let me be clear about that. They trick you with their weather machines, that heart machine. Okay? Groundhog Day is about you. You are living the same day over and over and over and over again because you are stuck in a loop. Oh, we about to talk about lucid dreaming. So when distortion entered, the dream turned into a false illusion and some fell into a trap of forgetting. but now the original dream is returning, right? The dreamer and the dream are one. So ancient wisdom says that as you dream the universe dreams you. So this means your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions shape reality. A lot of my content is showing you how, through the emotional vibrational scale, the masculine and the feminine principle, thoughts and emotions, you are able to align and attract what it is that you want. Has it not been over these last couple of years? I've said it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Your thoughts, your emotions, and your intention. Intention is the most important thing that you can do. Shape your reality. Okay? You are not separate from creation. You are a vital thread in the dream tapestry. You are not separate. Yes, I'm going to post this on YouTube. You are both the flame and the breath. You're the seed in the sky. You're the one who remembers, and you're the one who forgets that you are dreaming. Okay, so what you need to understand about what I just said is that the universe is not a simulation or an illusion. It is a sacred dream of source expressing itself through infinite forms. Earth is a dreaming plane where souls came to explore the dance of remembrance. You are not passive. You are a sovereign dreamer. You are here to shape the dream through your breath, through your voice, through your love. You are shaping the dream, okay? You are meant to awaken and become lucid in the dream. So you becoming awakened, you becoming conscious, is you entering into the lucid dreaming state. And you start dreaming with source again. Now think about that, because I've talked about lucid dreaming before, right? And I've talked about how lucid dreaming is you becoming aware that you're in a dream. And then you can manipulate the dream, and then it can change your reality. Remember, I say that all the time. When you become lucid in a dream, that is where you create real change in this physical world. Well, it also applies here. The conscious decisions that you're making, you cannot be on autopilot, because then you're not the one in control of the dream. Everything you do must be conscious. It must be intentional. Okay? So, next we have to talk about the dream fields. Why? Because a lot of distortion comes from the dream field. So you need to understand what the dream fields are. Okay? So the dream fields are frequency bands. Okay? It's a living, breathing frequency structure that holds a original dream of a soul, of a person, of a planet, of a star. It is the vibrational landscape where divine potential is possible, meaning it's the plan. The dream field is the plan for that you chose before you incarnated, the plan of the planet, the plan, the blueprint. Okay? The dream field is the blueprint of becoming. This is what you are meant to become. It is the blueprint of becoming. All right? It is a canvas of soul creation. Before things became solid, they are dreamed. It holds memory, it holds direction, and sacred intention of a soul or collective consciousness, okay? So if you think about a seed, right, and how a seed holds the entire blueprint of the tree. When you look in the seed, it holds the entire blueprint of the tree. A dream field is like the seed of the soul, okay? It holds the blueprint of the soul's life, of a civilization's purpose, or even a planet's evolution, okay? So there are multiple types of dream fields. There's your personal dream field, which is going to be your unique blueprint of your soul, your gifts, your timing, your soul relationships, meaning nothing happens by coincidence. Every person that you met, you were supposed to meet. Okay? Creation as well. The collective dream field has our shared intentions, our agreements, and soul contracts of communities, cultures, or soul groups. So when I think about this, I think about generations, how we all have similar shared interests, shared experiences. Like millennials are very specific to millennial things. You know what I'm saying? Gen Z is a different generation because they have a different collective dream. But we all have a dream that's together, okay? Then we have the planetary dream field, which is Earth's sacred memory and purpose, what she was meant to become and what she still can become. And then we have a stellar dream field. Hey, Eternity. The stellar dream field is the dream field of entire star systems like Lyra, like Sirius, like Andromeda, okay? They're holding the cosmic destiny of a star system. Now, there are dream libraries that store dream fields and flame bearers who weave and protect them. I'll talk about the dream libraries in just a second. Okay, this is what we consider to be very similar to what we understand to be the Akashic records. Okay, so where are they? Where are these dream fields? Some of them are not always visible, but they are tangible energy, meaning you can tap into them. They're tangible energy that you can use once you start remembering. Okay, they exist in the soul layers of your energy field. They exist in the grid lines of Earth. They exist in the crystalline structures beneath the oceans, beneath the mountains. Y'all don't even understand what those are, but we'll talk about that on another day. I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay? So, sometimes they're in your very breath when you speak your truth. When you start speaking your truth, you are tapping into your dream field. You don't even know that. It is so important for you to speak your truth. I say that all the time. It is so important for you to speak your truth. Okay? Why do we need to understand this now? When distortion enters Earth's field, false grids, control systems, and forgetting happened along with spiritual manipulation. Many of the original dream fields were fractured, they were hidden, or they were overridden, which caused amnesia. It caused separation. It caused false timelines. And it also caused painful reincarnation loops. A lot of time when I'm doing psychic readings on y'all, I'm like, oh, you're stuck in a loop. You're stuck in a loop. I see people stuck in a loop, meaning for multiple lifetimes, they've been doing the same fucking thing. Multiple lifetimes. The same thing. They haven't chosen anything differently. Also, I think about generational curse, generational loops as well. The generational curse breakers. Everybody's doing the same thing. Keeping the secrets. Not speaking their truth. I was just working out to my reading, period. Speaking the truth. Okay? Now, I'm going to just intersect for a second and just say, today, again, is the last day to get your human design readings. If you get a full or a mommy and me reading, you will get a free general reading. Okay? And I'll tell you what it is you need to work on right now to get you to the next level. Today is the last day. And then next month's, I don't know what next month's thing is going to be, but we'll see. Okay? If y'all have some interest in or things that y'all are interested in, just let me know. Okay? So, the true dream fields were never destroyed. They were buried under layers of fear and distortion. Okay? They are awakening now because the flame bearers, like you and me, are waking up. Okay? I offer, how do we book? You go to my website. It's www.bigtaj.com. Big Taj with 2 J's. When you go to my, like where you see my picture on the first page, it says book me. Click that and it'll take you directly to my services page. As long as you book it by today, then you will get you'll get the free reading. Okay, which is just a general life reading. It's about 30-45 minutes where I just tap in with your higher self, tap in with your guides, and tell you what it is you need to work on today. I know it's the first of the month, so I do offer Afterpay, Klarna, all of that. Okay, so how do we work with these fields? We anchor personal and planetary dream fields in our body and in our work. Okay, thank you, Bell Goddess. We protect the dream fields of children. And also, if you work with clients, you do energy work, you do Reiki, you do anything like that, you also protect the dream fields of your clients. But let me stop and just say, someone quoted me $333 for that. Insanity. Yes, Big Taj, Keisha. Fucking ridiculous. I literally talked to a client yesterday who said she was charged $1,500 for a hypnosis where they would make her talk to her higher self, and she didn't have that experience, and the lady basically told her, not my fault, you blocked, and took her $1,500. That's fucking ridiculous. Spirituality should not cost that much. That enrages me. OMG, 333 is wow. She changed my life for a fraction of that. Yes, because spirituality should be accessible. Capitalism is the problem, and it is falling. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get back to what I'm saying real quick. That's fucking crazy, though. I'm sorry that you had to spend that, girl. Okay, so how do we access these fields? We anchor personal and planetary dream fields into our body and into our work. We protect the dream fields of children. Children are at their purest state Yeah, my website's in my bio. Children are at my, somebody put my website in the chat for me. It's www.bigtajj.com. Okay? But protecting of the children. Stop abusing them fucking kids. Kids are so important to what is to come. They hold the light codes for the future. They are meant to imagine. They are sourced in its purest form. They are meant to imagine. But when you whoop on them and when you don't allow them to be who they are and you tell them they're supposed to show up this way and show up that way instead of nurturing them and protecting them, you rob them of what is rightfully theirs. Okay? Breathe memory. Thank you. Stop abusing them fucking kids. Because you push them further and further into separation and further away from what they came here to do. They are the future. They hold the seeds. The least you can do is emotionally regulate. And I say that as one of those kids. My mama wasn't terrible with me though. She used to whoop off at my brother's ass. Okay? I ain't saying he deserved it. He ain't deserved it. But, okay? Breathe memory back into collapsed places. That is what I'm doing today. I got silenced so bad as a child. Yeah. That's what I'm doing today. You need to breathe memory back into people. Meaning, if you are starting to remember, speak up. Talk about it. Do not be ruled by fear. Do not be ruled by distortion. The closer you get to yourself, the more protected that you are. I have guardians around me. I have whole armies around me in spirit. You do too. You just don't know it because you do not know who you are. So heal so that you can remember. Make choices based off of what your soul is telling you. Meaning that if you go over there and every single time you feel rejected, you feel unseen, you feel harmed, you feel tortured, stop going over there. Go into places that make you feel alive, that make you feel fulfilled, that make you feel seen, that make you feel heard. That is where your soul is telling you to be. Anything else is what? Self-neglect? That's what it feels like. Anything else is self-neglect. Okay? Inspire others to awaken their dream within joy. Inspire others to awaken their dreams with joy, with laughter, with your soul's truth. Listen to your body, period. Thank you, Kiki. Listen to your body. All right? How do these dream fields, how do we use these dream fields? Okay? How do they function? Now, a dream field functions as a living, resonant matrix of energy, of intention, of memory, and of frequency. It is both the container for a soul's dream, but also a transmitter of the soul dream being brought into form. Okay? I don't mean to read you. It's all with love. But you know, sometimes we need to be read. But it's all with love. Remember I said that. It's all with love. Okay? You can only dream it with your soul. You cannot dream. You can only dream this dream with your soul though. Okay? You can only dream this dream. So on the site it's saying if you don't have your birth time, don't book. I don't have my birth time. Okay. I will tell you how to get it. Are you in the county that you live in? Send me an email. Okay. My email is TAJAMOORE16@gmail. Send me an email and I'll tell you how to get it. There's some people I've had to wait on their readings because they was getting their birth time. Human design reading, which is something my soul came here to do. Thank you, Shira. My soul came here to get us in energetic alignment. So human design is my medium. Okay. But if you book a full human design reading or a mommy and me reading, meaning like you want to learn how to connect with your kids and how your kids are designed energetically, both of them are 2-hour video readings. You send me your date, location, time of birth, and I send you back a 2-hour video explaining how your energy works or how your energy works in conjunction with your kids. But this month, the month of April, today is the last day, but the month of April, you get a free general life reading because we entered into the masculine cycle in mid-April. End of March, which is the cycle where we have the energy to do something about whatever it is we're trying to create or build or whatever. Okay. So this month I've been offering full readings, full mommy and me readings. And then you get a free general life reading, which is me just telling you what the issue is right now in life and what you need to focus on. Okay. Okay. So you can only dream this dream with your soul, and the dream fields begin to shape energy around the vision that you're dreaming. Meaning, like, you're setting your intentions for what it is that you want to do. Every action that you take when you get up is important. Every thought that you have, every emotion that you have, because all of it is connecting you to this dream field, and it's creating this reality around it. It says, does the human design reading cover the things where you know what energy your name is in? No, it does not cover the energy of your name. I mean, maybe I should start offering that, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't cover the energy of your name. The energy of your name, you're talking about numerology. It's the 5 life path numbers, and that is actually the product that I offer in addition to the human design, which is the energetic profile. That one's $80, and it looks at your numerology, which is your 5 life path numbers, your astrology, your human design. Then it pulls out your purpose, your strengths, your weaknesses, and comes up with goals and a plan to get you into energetic alignment. Okay. That's the one that you're probably referring to, but that's something you want to get after you've gotten the human design reading, because if you get it by yourself, it might be hard for you to understand what it's telling you. Okay. Hey, how's your boo? Now, okay, so how do we connect with these dream fields? Well, number one, it begins with your frequency. Okay. Every dream field starts with a vibration and a frequency that reflects your soul's truth, your essence, and your desires. Meaning that those of you who are not living authentically, you are going to be further away from your soul's truth. Okay. If you are living in pain and suffering, you're going to be further away. If you're living the life that someone else told you to live, you are going to be further away. Okay. The frequency is carried through thought, it's through emotion, through intention, through sound, meaning of what you say. So thought is what you think. Emotion is what you feel. Intention is where you focus your attention. Okay. Sound is what you say. Movement, what you do. Light and breath as well. Okay. When your inner world becomes coherent, the dream field begins to organize reality around it. Meaning when you become aware, the dream field starts working for you. That's why your manifestations come quicker. Because you are making decisions based off of who you are on a soul level, off of your essence, off of your desires, meaning you need to live a life that you actually want to live. Fuck money. You can't make decisions based out of fear. Well, I need to do this because I don't want to be broke. I need to do this because I need to close myself off or protect myself better because I don't want to experience the pain that comes with love. All of those things are you living out of fear. Instead, you need to say, no, I want somebody who treats me like this, that I ain't settling for shit else until I get this. I want to be an artist. So I'm going to keep putting my art out there. And if as long as I'm being authentic, I'm going to be able to track what it is that I need to be able to exist. You got to do what's in your heart. So you also can't copy and mimic off of other people. You need to do what is specific to you. Then quit, Vanessa. You need to do what is specific to you. Okay? There's been plenty of times where I up and quit a job and I was perfectly fine. You always have options. Plenty of options. You always have options. The universe supports, most of us are supported by the universe when we do what the fuck we want to do. That's gate 14 in human design. You are meant to pave your own way, your own creative direction. I'm one of those people. The more that I do what I want to do, the more money I get, I'm able to magnetize it and pull it out the motherfucking air. You know, I recently had the breakthrough. I move with more intention and creation. You need to. Because everything they used to do in Atlantis was rituals. The reason why they make you do rituals in churches is because they building a collective. Wait a second. We getting there. Okay? We getting there. So you need your frequency to be on point. Okay? The next is the dream field responds to sovereign intention. Hey, Dejour. Hey, boo. Had to realize I created this reality, and if I truly want something else, yes, you need to do something differently. Okay, so the dream field responds to sovereign intention. So dream fields are not automatic manifestation systems. Okay, you need to tell it what you want. You need to make sure that you're aligned and you're using your sovereign will. Okay, meaning your whole self must agree to the dream. So if you have fear underneath that's telling you that you can't have this and you can't have that, it's causing delays. Okay? It requires you to have mental clarity, meaning you need to get clear about what it is that you want. You can't just be shooting arrows in the dark. You need to sit down and figure out what it is that you want and how you want it. Child, listen. I got soot all over the damn floor, y'all. Yes, you need to be clear about what it is you want, but you also need emotional coherence, meaning that your emotions need to be aligned with what it is that you want. So emotional regulation is important. Energetic openness. A great sign that you are a healthy being is flexibility. You have to have flexibility in your thought process. You have to have flexibility in your body. You have to have flexibility in your emotional state. You have to have flexibility. Hold on, y'all. My cat got my damn door open. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know my cat is always doing the things. Let me shut this real quick. But you have to have flexibility in everything that you do. Pookie. She ain't even out here. Where's she at? Oh, shit. Let me not fucking fall. Okay, well, she ain't even out here. Let me shut this. All right. You have to have flexibility in everything because that is a sign of good health. Okay? Thank you, Hydra. You can come get her if you want to. I seen a video of a cat earlier who was a menace to fucking society. And I said, you know what? I'm actually happy I got my girl because she don't cause no problems. Just lock her out like last time. I can't do my baby like that. It's kind of hot today. But anyways, okay, boo. After I get off live, I'll look at that email, okay? So you have to have energetic openness. You need to be flexible. You need to be experiencing reality through objective flexibilism, meaning that when you get new information and you feel differently about that information, you need to do something differently. Okay? You can't be looking at life through the lens of phenomenalism, meaning that somebody told you how you were supposed to act and that's how you act. You don't do nothing outside of that. You just follow the good old word. You don't think for yourself. You don't nothing. You just do what you've been told to do. It don't work like that. Hey, Royal Crown. Hey, have you been channeling, receiving downloads about Atlantis? Like, yep, this is what we're talking about, love. Wisdom is the action of applying the knowledge. Yes, it's applying knowledge and understanding, which is thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts and your emotions should align with the actions that you take. Okay? So, and you also need soul permission, meaning you need to do it with your whole being. Okay? So this is why trauma, fear, or distortion can delay or confuse your dream manifestation, because the field picks up on every layer of your being, not just your conscious thought. Thought is not enough. You need every single thing to be in alignment. You need to believe it. Okay? You also can weave with other people, meaning dream fields are not just isolated. Your personal dream field overlaps and intersects with the fields of other people around you. So think about how they created the education system, how they are big on organized religion, how they're big on holidays, okay? How everybody at a concert is singing the same song, sometimes unconsciously without any regard to the words that they're fucking singing. You are collectively creating when you do those things. You anchor in the dream field that you're attached to. Think about that. Now that you understand that what you dream, you can have collective shared dreams with other people. Now does it make sense why those things are important? Why every kid needs to go to school? Why every kid needs to say the pledge? Why every kid needs to go to church? Or their soul will not be saved? Okay, follow me. Follow me. You also, collective dream fields are built when many aligned souls resonate with a similar frequency. Collective dream fields are built when many aligned souls resonate with the same frequency. Organized religion. Okay. These collective fields influence cities. Hold on. They making me do something, child. With 4 legs. Okay. These collective fields influence cities. They influence the American dream. Thank you. They influence cities. They influence timelines. They influence civilizations, even the earth itself. So think about the use of media. All the media stations are owned by the same people, telling you the same story. I think about my grandparents who, if the news ain't say it, they don't believe it. You've been conditioned into some of these collective fields for a reason. Yes, woven through your bloodline, through your DNA. Conditioning within your family. You come out, they tell you who you are and who you're supposed to be. And you're supposed to follow what they tell you to do. You know, the Chinese, I think it's Asian cultures, when a baby is one, when a baby becomes one, they make them choose either the money or the stethoscope or what they want for them or whatever the case may be. And if they choose the stethoscope, I don't know if y'all seen that movie Beyond the Stars or some shit like that. If they choose the stethoscope, whether they want to be a doctor when they grow up or not, they have to. I came to this country for you. I sacrificed everything. How dare you go against what I dreamed for you? Guilt, distortion. We're going to talk about the signs of distortion as well. Okay, you have to live the life that you want to live, regardless of how people feel about it. Okay, so personal healing, your joy, your remembrance, they ripple through dream fields of others, calling them into resonance. So you remember, I say all the time that you don't need to heal other people, you need to heal yourself. Because when you heal yourself, you create a vacuum behind you. Your frequency is so high that you depolarize these negative lower entities, right? Yeah, for sure. You depolarize these negative lower vibrational entities. That's what I mean. Your dream field ripples outwards and it calls other people into resonance. Okay? So, when enough sovereign dreamers align, entire timelines shift. And that is why they just passed that law a couple years ago that said that more than 1 million people cannot protest. If more than 1 million of y'all get together to protest, we have a right to implement whatever. Martial law, I don't know what the fuck they implementing. But they have a right to shut it down. Why? Because as a collective, we cannot be on the same page because we change entire timelines. We bring light to the distorted timelines. We shift everything underneath them and they have no control over it. Okay? Because we are the dreamers. All right? So, 4, dream fields are anchored through choice. Choice is an activator. Let me say that again. Choice is an activator. A dream field can hold infinite potential, but it only becomes realized when you choose it, when you breathe it, and when you embody it. Meaning you have to become it. You have to become a living, breathing manifestation of that thing. You have to step fully into it. You cannot be on the fence. You need to step into it. Okay? You build dream fields through ritual, through creativity, through consistency and soul level yes. Meaning you are only saying yes to the things that are aligned with you. You are saying no to the things that do not align. Okay? People in Atlantis engaged in daily ritual just like they do in organized religion because it builds and strengthens the field. So if you are spiritual, you need to actually be practicing it every single day. There is not a syllabus, but there is a thing that I am following. As long as I'm going to put this in its own playlist on YouTube, so you'll be able to see it in the order in which I release it. Okay? Now, your dream field is built through ritual, through creativity, and through the things that you say yes to, consistency. Meaning that whatever it is that you believe in, you need to be practicing it every day. If you have an invocation that you need to, every single day I will be saying an invocation about sovereignty. Every day I would say, the only thing that can enter my field is love, and the only thing that can exit it is love. I'm free from distortion, from influence, from manipulation, conscious or unconscious. You need to be saying something every single day before you go into the dream world. You need to say an invocation. Write them out. Okay? I'm going to get to your question in a second, Laura. Write them out, but you need to do it ritualistically, consistently, because that is how you build the dream field around you. Okay? You collapse or clear distorted dream fields by reclaiming your energy, by ending your contracts, and by healing those patterns. Every day, reclaim your energy. It belongs to you. You know that little TikTok sound that goes around? I reclaim my energy from every timeline, from every field, from every distortion, from every this, from every that. Every single day. Okay? Ending contracts. Whatever it is that you don't want to experience, you need to be saying it every single day. When something comes up, you need to say, you know what? I don't want that experience. I actually want this one. And literally be reprogramming your reality every single day. Every time something comes up. And then you need to heal those old patterns that do not align with you. So in other words, what you give your energy to, you feed. Have you ever heard the two stories, the indigenous stories about the two wolves? There was a wolf that was malicious and all of this, but there was another wolf that was good. And basically the story came to a conclusion that you feed whichever energy is most aligned with you. Whatever you give your attention to is what's going to come into existence. Okay? Same thing here. Whatever you choose repeatedly, you anchor in. Whatever you choose repeatedly, you anchor in. What does that mean? You always have a choice. Nothing is happening by force. You know, I get people who will be like, well, my mom is doing this and my mom is doing that and I just can't say no to her. You're grown. You can't say no to her. You're choosing not to. It is a choice. Who is royalty? Choice is sovereignty. Absolutely. You have a choice in every single situation. Every single situation. You have a choice. You thinking that you don't is the problem. Money's not meant to be saved. Money is an energy. It's meant to flow. It's not meant to be trapped. It's meant to flow through you and around you. But it's not meant to be imprisoned. My name is Royal. We have been on live together before. I need an emergency fund. Why are you? Okay. All right. Hey, Daryl. So, these dream fields are multidimensional. Now, what does that mean? Dream fields exist across layers of time and space. This means some part of your dreams are already activated in higher dimensions. And you are simply aligning your 3D life to match them. Meaning the moment that you have the thought, it is already created. I've said that plenty. The moment you have the thought, it's already created. Now you just need to align with it. Remember I said the awareness is different than the embodiment of something. You have awareness of it so that you can embody it, but you have to embody it to ever reach it, to ever fully understand it. You have to embody it. So awareness of it is not enough. You have to become it first. Okay? Now, other parts may be stored in dream libraries or soul contracts waiting for divine timing. Okay? So other parts of this dream are waiting for your time. You have to meet it first. You have to resonate at it first, which we're going to talk about dream libraries in a second. As a frequency rises, you gain access to higher aspects of your dream. Okay? As your frequency rises, you gain access to higher aspects of your dream. So that means that balancing out the chakra system is important. Why? Because your chakra systems lead to higher densities of consciousness, do they not? Your chakra system leads to higher densities of consciousness. Now, I am going to talk about the oversoul, and I am going to talk about the activation points, the age activation points, like 25, 33. Those are important activation points. But you also have an energetic grid inside of your body, which is the chakra system and your meridian system. And once you become a specific age, specific chakras are activated, which hold remembrance, which hold frequencies. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. You are not chasing your future. You are aligning to the dream that already remembers you. Okay? Now, the dream field is very alive. It responds to remembrance. It is listening to your breath, your tears, your song. It bends to your clarity and blossoms in your joy. It bends to your clarity, meaning you have to get clear, and it blossoms in your joy. You have to be enjoying your experience. You cannot be operating out of fear of losing something. You cannot be operating out of fear of not getting something. Okay? Now, dream libraries. Well, it's not outside of you. It's the living reflection of your soul's sacred yes, meaning your choices. Everything that you have said yes to, that is a living reflection of your dream field. Everything that you experience in your reality is a living reflection of every choice that you have made. So if you're experiencing a reality that you don't like, you need to make better choices. Okay? And I don't say that from a place of harm. That's the real truth. It's the choices that you're making. You have to make different ones, because that's what creates your field. Now let's talk about dream libraries for a second. Now, a dream library are living crystalline memory fields designed to store, protect, and transmit the original dream of creation, which we talked about when we talked about that covenant, right? They are etheric templates woven into earth, stars, and multidimensional realms, guarded archives of soul memory, planetary blueprints, the healing arts, so the ancient healing arts, and flame lineages, which we're going to talk about next time. They're access points of sacred remembrance where souls like me and you return to retrieve what was once known. Okay? Where are they located? Beneath sacred mountains and oceans like the Himalayas, the Andes, the Azores, which are the volcanic mountains, the volcanic ocean mountains, Pacific trenches. Thank you, Ja. Within inner Earth's crystalline sanctuaries, in ancient temples, etheric layers. So Giza, Machu Picchu, whatever. I'm gonna say these other ones wrong. I'll just spell it: Teotihuacan, Angkor Watts. I know I said all of those wrong. All of them. Doesn't matter. Okay, you know what I mean. In the dream realm, they are also accessible through deep soul journeying and visioning, meaning vision, so sitting in meditation. Some are within you as well, and some are carried in your oversoul. Okay? Some are carried within your oversoul, some are carried within your DNA. So as you start to become more conscious, as you start to reach higher densities of consciousness, you unlock your DNA. That's what it means. You unlock full dream libraries with the original blueprints of everything. Okay? Just by being awakened. That's it. All you do is got to be more conscious in what you do. Be more intentional in what you do throughout your day. Make choices that align with who you are. That is it. It's very simple. Okay? What do they store? They store living memory fields encoded in light, in sound, in color, in geometry. One second. They store soul lineage records. Your galactic origins, your flame lineages, your past lives across worlds. What's crazy is when you start waking up, you start having memories of shit that don't make sense. It do not make sense. It's like breadcrumbs. I have a lot of memories of Amara Thea from Atlantis. Okay, a lot of her memories. I know exactly when she left, what she was feeling, what she was experiencing. I know what some of the temples look like. I know what some of the violet flame crystals look like. I know what projection bridges are, which we're gonna talk about all that shit, where you can project your soul into a different timeline. Okay, I have a shit ton of her memories, but I also have memories of other timelines. Me being in the same soul family I'm in right now. The same family I'm in, there's specific one of them who, my brother, I was his wife at one point in time, and my little cousin was our daughter. Other one, I was a single mom with my other little cousin as my daughter. It just keeps flipping in these loops. Okay? Now, planetary dream blueprints. So the Earth's intended evolutionary path before distortion. Yes, like the OA. Healing arts, which are ancient methods of sound healing, of breathing alchemy, of crystal consciousness and light weaving. Okay, timeline maps. So records of what has occurred, what could have occurred, and what still might occur. Sovereign flame songs. So sound codes that awaken dormant gifts in crystalline memory. When you enter a dream library, you don't read, you absorb, you remember, and you become the knowledge again. You become it, you embody it. So the next question might be, who built these? Well, I did, and some of you did. Okay? I did, and some of you did. The flame bearers created and guarded these libraries in service of source in the dream. When we knew that it was going to collapse, when we knew that it was going to fall, we took specific measures to make sure that when we awaken again, that we have access to it, but it's only reached through frequency. The 144,000 have a charm, have a crystal at their heart space. That's why it's important to never shut your heart off. You have to be open. You have to be open. You have to understand that love comes with pain. And if it's not aligned with you, leave. Don't try to stay and make it work or try to fix that person. And you're not a savior. You align with everything in existence. So if it's not aligned, it's not aligned. But that don't mean that you go and treat the next person differently because there was nothing wrong with your love. You don't need to be fixed. That person is not willing to receive. If that person was your mama, that person was your mama. It does not mean anything about you though. Okay? So, the flame bearers, they built it, but also there are other guardians like whales and dolphin nations. Those are not just beings. Those are not just animals. Those are guardians. And that's why they don't want you talking to them. They remember everything. The reason why I was obsessed with dolphins my entire life is because I remember them. Orcas, whales, sea dragons. Y'all ain't probably never seen a sea dragon before. Scary. Spooky. Okay? What the fuck is this? But they are guardians. Okay? They protect underwater libraries with frequency songs, meaning that these entities and beings can't reach specific frequencies. So I think about the submersible. I think about that. What was y'all really under there trying to do? Okay? Also in inner earth star families. Okay? The aurora fields, the Shambhala, the Varu. Those are guardians. Elemental and dragging beings. Those are guardians. Matumbu and other oversoul architects of free will and memory. Those are guardians. Okay? After the fall of Atlantis and the distortion of Earth's grid, many of these libraries were hidden. Okay? And they were veiled from those who might misuse them, but they are not lost. How do you access them? Soul resonance. You need to get your soul energy up. Breath work in trance states, dream work, initiations. People singing to you in your dreams, that's an initiation. You see your ancestors come up and initiate you, that's an initiation. Okay? Deep emotional honesty and surrender. And then joy and beauty, which lifts your frequency into alignment. Meaning you need to see the beauty in your experiences. You need to love yourself. And you need to experience joy. Those are so important. Now you may be called in a dream or a vision to this temple or to a temple. It has a spiral staircase. Okay? And it's a luminous room full of light geometries. And this is often the soul's first return to this information. Why is this important? Because Earth's rebirth into new Earth cannot happen without restoring the original memory fields of who we are and why we came here. I'm only answering questions for people in my Patreon, okay, y'all? You have to be in my soul tribe. Those memories live in the dream libraries, and the flame bearers who once built them are now returning to re-access them, to repair them, and to rebirth them. A lot of you are a part of these libraries. You're not separate from them. You awaken them from within. Okay? So let's talk about signs of distortion, because I talked a lot about distortion, right? And how when distortion entered our dream field, Earth's dream field, it caused the collapse of timelines. It caused false realities. It caused a lot of different things. Okay, so what are the signs of distortion, and how do we know if distortion is present? Okay, so pressure is the first one. Pressure instead of invitation. Invitation. Pressure instead of invitation. Pressure instead of invitation. So when you're operating at a sovereign light, nothing is ever forced. Something I say all the time naturally is, I'm not here to change the way that you think. I'm just asking you to be open. That's it. I'm not trying to force anybody to believe what I believe. I don't need you to. That is sacred remembrance. I've been like that my entire life. Okay? In distortion, you feel pressure. You feel urgency, and you feel manipulation. I'm going to tell y'all a story in a second of how I met Matumbu. Okay? Signs are, you must act now or you'll miss out. If you don't do this, then you'll lose your chance. Okay? Any emotional guilt, you lose your chance. Any coercion, any manipulation. Sovereign light honors your choice. Distortion tries to rush you. So when I hear that, you know what I immediately think about? That interview with Kanye, where he's talking to that reporter and he's throwing questions at him really, really fast. And Kanye's like, oh, like he taking a second to think. And then he asks another question and he asks another question. And Kanye stops him and says, hold on. Give me a second to answer the question. Like, I know you're trying to brush me through this interview because you're trying to get me to say something accidentally, but give me a second. There's a reason why he did that. He's an occultist. If you ever feel rushed, that is distortion. Okay? Now, flattery is the second thing. The first thing is pressure. The second thing is flattery or inflated ego. Anything that is overinflating you makes you feel chosen or special or above others artificially. I hate the concept of the chosen ones. I made a video that went viral about that, and I had to make a second video because people were so disgruntled at the fact that I said that anybody can be chosen. Why? Because you're living in distortion and you're living in ego. Every single person through your choices can be chosen. There's not a book where it's like, well, this person is chosen over this person. And that is not how it works. But people who are wearing spirituality as a mask, they're covering that ego with spirituality, don't tend to understand that. I am no better than you, and you are no better than me. I don't care who I used to be. I am no better than you, and you are no better than me. We all serve our purpose. I could never do what you do, and you can never do what I do. That is why we're both necessary. If we did the same thing, there would be no use for me and you. So there is no such thing as being a chosen one. That is ego. All of us are chosen. And every choice that you make aligns you with that. Okay? So, all of this is meant to inflate your ego, like I said, which fuels separation, which fuels comparison and judgment. And all of this stops you from listening to your true, pure heart flame. Okay? Signs of inflated ego. You are more powerful than everyone else. Only you can do this. Others are lesser. Okay? Hidden competition or separation woven into spiritual language. Meaning a lot of people, a lot of spiritualists on this app talk the spiritual language. But they have not embodied it. They talk it. People can trick you with words. They can trick you with what they show you. But they can never trick you with how they make you feel. They talk the spiritual language. But they have not yet become it. Okay? Don't let them fool you. They have the vocabulary, but that's all they have. Okay? It's very rare that I found people in me going on my spiritual journey who were genuine and operating from a genuine place of assistance, who wanted to help, who left themselves open to help. Well, if you want this, you're going to have to give me more money. Everybody who has ever booked a reading for me, and I'm not saying that I'm better, but everybody who has ever booked a reading with me has access to me through Telegram. Anytime you're going through something, hit me up. I want you to be okay. That's what that looks like. It doesn't look like come spend $1,500 with me. Oops, my bad, you couldn't remember. Get off my line. I took your $1,500. The fuck be wrong with some of y'all? I get on here and do free live readings. Why? Because I know everybody can't afford it. That's okay. I still got you. You know? That's how it's supposed to be. But so many of us are living in distortion. Okay? Not only that, there's some confusion or cognitive fog. Okay? So in sovereign frequencies, even in the mysteries, everything feels clear. Everything feels peaceful. Everything feels expansive. Okay? But in distortion, you feel mentally foggy and you feel confused and unstable. So let me tell y'all a story. So I told y'all about the story of me going to El Salvador and me having this dream that somebody was knocking at my door at like 3 o'clock in the morning. They like, you got to move your car. You got to move your car. Like, you know, like you have to move it right now. And I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not getting up to move this fucking car. And it was like, you have to, you know? So I get up and I go out there and this dog is running towards me because El Salvador is full of like stray dogs. And this dog starts running towards me and I tell it to stop and it stops midair. And as soon as I look to like, what the fuck is going on? Because I started to become conscious at that moment. It was a man who was sitting on the hill and he said, hey. And I looked at him and he was like, that's an awful lot of light. And I said, yeah. And I started moving the light. It was so much light around my head and it was so much light around my hands. And I started moving it and he said, turn around, let me fix it. And in that moment when he said that, I knew on a soul level, no. But for some reason, it felt like I was in a trance. It felt so foggy and I never turned. It was like he was turning me kind of against my, and I'm going to talk to y'all about that in a second, but it felt like he was turning me. And for the next 3 days, I didn't feel any energy in my body. I feel energy in my body every single day. And I went and got energy work done and he had attached something on my back that was leaking my energy out the back of my field, out of my spine. Your spine is important. Your field is sprung from your spine. Your chakra system sits on your spine. But I was confused. I had a dream the other night of these two beings were telling me to step onto this clear quartz. So I was in this room and it was part of it was concrete and the other part was like this aqua clear quartz. It was a crystal. It looked like a crystal, but you could see straight through it, right? And so I'm standing on the side where the concrete is and they kept on saying, step onto this. And like they were telling me to project my consciousness into another timeline, or like I was giving them access to something. But on the soul level, I felt like I should not be doing it. And then there was a big boom outside. So they go running towards the door and I run behind them. And Matumbo, they said, what is he doing here? He looks at me and I notice him. I don't know why I knew him, but I knew him. And it was almost like a movie. He turned slowly to me. And it's like almost instantly I knew, get away from these people. And I started running and somebody started coming after me and I woke up. Now this bridge, these are bridges. We have bridges where half of it is concrete because it's supposed to stabilize you, right? The other half is crystal. When you step on that crystal projection, your soul is projected into different timelines. They can collapse timelines. They can take over timelines. They can put things into our remembrance from these places. So they were trying to coerce me into giving them access to this. And the architect of free will showed up and they was shook. The guardian of free will showed up. It's huge, but they were shook. You have these guardians that protect these specific things for a reason. Okay. So when you're feeling confusion or fog, or you don't necessarily know why you're somewhere, okay, because some of the signs are forgetting your true intention, not understanding why you're in this place. losing your memory of why you entered the space, okay? Feeling numb or like you are slipping out of yourself. The flame is always going to expand with clarity. Distortion is always going to cloud, okay? Also, your body is going to tell you, contracting body sensations. Your body is wise. Your body holds sacred cells who know when distortion is present. So have you ever like been in a place and all of a sudden you feel like you had to leave, like you need to leave right now? Like you don't understand why you need to leave, but you need to get out of there. Like me, sometimes when I'm in a bar, like if I'm in a bar and I'm drinking, like all of a sudden if I get like, I don't know what happens to me, but it's like a certain point hits where I need to leave. And I just bolt out of there. I don't tell nobody or nothing. I just fucking disappear. My brother does the same thing all the time. This is your body being able to sense the distortion. It senses that it's present, right? And distortions hang out in bars. Shadow beings hang out in bars. Why? Because you're out of your fucking mind. Because that's where you're the most unconscious. They could easily enter into your field. They want you like that. Spirits. That's what they call alcohol. Spirits. Why do you think they call it spirits? Okay. So pay attention to your body. If you're feeling tightness in your chest or your solar plexus, which is the seat of your soul, by the way, the bottom of your heel, seat of your soul, okay? If you're feeling heaviness or you're feeling nauseous or you're suddenly getting dizzy, okay? If you desire to physically leave a space, those are signs that your body are recognizing that a distortion is there. I can't tell you how many times somebody tried to introduce me to somebody and they walked up to me and it's like my body had a physical reaction to them. Like my friend was introducing me to this guy that she was dating. And I looked at her and I said, girl, that's a fucking narcissist. I don't know how to tell you, but that is not a good person. My body has a physical reaction, and sure the fuck enough, she got up out of there before she got her ass hurt. Okay, your body knows. And the other thing is the lack of full consent. In sovereign fields, you choose every single step consciously and joyfully. But in distorted fields, things happen without your full understanding or agreement. Remember I said it felt like that thing was turning me? But I was like, in my head, I'm saying no, but it felt like I was being turned. It felt like I was in a haze. Like I didn't have time to think. It slows down your senses. I did not have time to think. It was happening so fast. Okay? So some of the signs are going to be energies being placed on you without your conscious welcoming of it. Feeling like you've been tagged, you've been hooked, you've been claimed without full awareness. That's the story I just told y'all. Okay? Sovereign light moves only by full conscious permission. If you sense distortion, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. I want you to anchor in the light. Okay? Focus on your chest area and see your flame becoming bigger and steady. Anchor in the light, or you can see a light coming through your crown and moving all the darkness out of your body. Okay? You can call forth the flame guardians. Okay? Like Matumbu. Okay? And your oversoul. Your oversoul is who created you. Okay? You can say, I reclaim full sovereignty now. I revoke all hidden agendas or agreements not made in my conscious love and light. I seal my field in sovereign flame. And then you need to step away physically, energetically, vibrationally. If anything is causing fear, confusion, distortion, making you feel uneasy in your body, you know something is wrong, do not stay there. And I'm talking about them men. Them women too. But I can only speak for the woman's experience. So I hope you hear me. Trust that you don't owe anybody any explanation for choosing your flame. You don't owe nobody shit. Do what's best for you. Okay? So that's it for my lesson for today. All right? That's what I have to say. That is what I'm doing to introduce what we are going to get into, which is Lemuria, which is Atlantis. Okay? I am not repeating the first part, love. You can catch it on my YouTube. I'm going to post this on my YouTube. Okay? My YouTube channel is Big Taj, Bigtajj. But if you go to my bio, go to where it says Instagram, YouTube will pop down, or you can go to my website, scroll all the way down. All of my platforms are on that very first page of my website. No problem, Victoria. I'm always going to repost on my YouTube so y'all have access to it, okay? Always, always, always. But it's important that you go back and watch this first part, okay? Because I need you to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. I need you to understand what the original flame covenant was. Why we have free will. Okay? I need you to understand what dream distortion versus dream collapse is. Because that's the threshold that we standing at right now. While remembrance of joy as a sacred force is important. Because that's how you get to dream restoration. While right now, in time is important. Okay? The journey between dream, distortion, and remembrance. And then the return of the flame bearers and who they are. Next time, we're going to talk about the flame lineages. Okay? So that y'all can see what resonates more with y'all. We'll talk about a lot of different things. Because I want to set the foundation correctly first before we get into Lemuria, Atlantis, the rose grids. I want to set the foundation first to make sure you have a full understanding of where we are, what we're meant to do. Nothing happens through force, okay? So my Patreon, Soul Tribe, I have some questions. So Laura says, so is daydreaming also lucid dreaming? Yes. So daydreaming is you entering into a trance state, okay? Daydreaming is you entering into a trance state. And that is where your imagination is going wild. Meaning that you're also creating in those realities as well. So I gave an example when I was talking about hypnosis. And I don't even necessarily know if I'm going to offer hypnosis as a service. I think I just needed to go through the course so that I can understand how we perceive reality. Okay? But we'll talk about that later. So daydreaming is you entering into a trance state. And when you enter into a trance state, which is usually triggered by fear or an event happening, a suggestion, boredom, whatever, you are consciously creating in that moment. Okay. It pulls you away from being present as well. But yes, daydreaming is not similar to lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming is you being fully conscious and fully aware. Whereas daydreaming is you kind of veering off into a trance state. Like you're veering off to the side, but you're creating, you know, because a lot of times what will happen is when you daydreaming, like, let me give you an example. Say, for instance, you went to a gas station and you try to swipe your card declined, and you are rushing on your way to work. You don't have time to figure it out. And so you driving an entire way to work, you on autopilot because you're thinking about this thing. So it's like your body is somewhere, but your mind is somewhere else. Okay. So you're thinking about this thing and now you don't even remember how you got to work. That is you going on autopilot, like in this physical dream, in this physical reality, and you creating every scenario that could be going wrong in your head. And now you're manifesting that thing. Now you're looking for evidence. You're taking actions as if that thing is true. So to me, daydreaming is more like a trap. Okay. It puts you in a trance state and it pulls you away from what you're consciously doing right now. Okay, so the conditioning is built on fear. The expectation reinforces that. What is one way someone can break that mental programming? The conditioning is built on fear. Yes. The expectations enforce that. Yes. What is one way someone can break the mental programming? You choose differently. You know, I get so many people asking me for a recipe. So many people asking me, well, what specifically am I supposed to do? I just told you. You bring joy back into your life. Every single day you need to be practicing spirituality, because through consistency, through ritual, you strengthen the field. You need to work in teams with other people. And you need to make better choices. That's it. If you don't agree with the programming of your mind, have awareness of what's coming in through your mind. Is it aligned or is it not aligned? Is it aligned or is it not aligned? And I don't mean that as harm, but I will literally preach for 3 hours about something, and I always get somebody who's saying, well, then how do we do this? Did you miss what I just said? You do it through making better choices. You do it through healing yourself, through anchoring in the light. Okay? You do it through remembering who you are and showing up authentically. Do it through remembering who you are and showing up authentically. It's so important. You do it through making sure every single day you are going after the joy. You're doing something that you love to do, because that is the biggest, most sacred act of rebellion that you can ever do. Meditate. Make sure you're regulating your emotions, making sure your thoughts and your emotions align with your reality, what you want to experience. Take actions as if the thing that you want is already yours. You need to embody it. You need to become it. That's how, because the awareness is not enough. You need to become it. You need to embody it. Okay? I love that. Soul love. Oh, yes. Soul level. Yes. So I know we are supposed to eat in dreams, and other day I ate a hot dog and my nosy neighbor was frying chicken. Okay. Well, okay. So these are questions that are outside of what we're talking about right now, love. So I'll get back to those after I get off of live. But anyways, so that's it. That's what you need to know. That's what you need to understand. Okay. So that was my lesson for today. Can we talk about Remick being taken up in the sky by fire? Yes. When you bring light to a distortion, it no longer exists. Fire is a releasing agent. Fire is the original flame. It is the dance of the universe. It is the soul song. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. All right, let me go back and see if there's some things that I can comment on. But any questions that you have, I'm only answering questions for people who are in my soul tribe, okay? If you're my soul tribe on Patreon, it's $5.55 a month. But through these sessions where we're talking about this, because I feel like it's too many questions for me to get to everybody, okay? So if you're my Patreon, I'll answer the questions that are there if they're on topic with what we're talking about, okay? They need to be on topic with what I am actually saying. Okay. But yeah. So let me see. I think I pretty much got all of it. Okay. So no, he was not released to his ancestors because he needed the song to get to his ancestors. He's going to be entrapped. His soul is entrapped. And if you die when your soul is entrapped, okay? You go to Patreon. My Patreon is www.patreon.com/becomingnoone. But again, if you go to my website, the first page, scroll all the way down, all of my platforms are there. Oh no, why are you saying sorry, love? Don't apologize. It's not nothing to apologize for. I'm just trying to make sure you understand, okay? So I love y'all deep. I got a client in about, what is it, 3 to 4? An hour and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of this. Every Wednesday around 1 to 1:30, I am going to continue this conversation. Okay. I've cleared out some space so that I can do this every single Wednesday. Okay. So next week, we will continue this conversation. Okay. I love y'all. And until next time, America. All right. Bye.